Alright everyone, I'm going to do the evening roundup a little earlier than I normally would do it, but there's literally no news now, and I can't see the point of recording videos on slightly different versions of stories we've already covered. Been some interesting links today with stuff. I think the major news is the contract situation. It looks like we're finally going to see some news. Amazing how it happens after the Fulham gamer. City's football director of football data, or whatever the job description is. Excuse me, something in my eye. Yeah. I don't know how that'll benefit the club. I don't know what impact he's had for Manchester City per se. I don't know what his role has led in terms of players coming in. And whether it'll improve us in the long term. I don't understand all this data, numbers stuff, and it means nothing to me. I just go for what I see on the pitch. If they consistently miss goals and miss chances and don't score, I don't need data to tell me that they can't score. I can see from my own eyes. I don't get the data-led approach. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just a bit more old-fashioned. I don't know. Not much in the way of anything today. It's been a really quiet day. I did do a live stream this morning. Unfortunately, a phone call came up and I had to literally cut the stream off dead. So apologies for that this morning. Lunchtime. It was something I couldn't avoid. It had to be done. I'll try and do another one tomorrow. I'm not sure how it'll go. Don't be surprised if there's not one, because I want to see if there's any follow-up from what's happened today. More than likely Wednesday there would be one, I think, as it stands. See what I mean when I put plans at the start of the week and said they can change? They did, heavily. But in terms of today, obviously I did a few videos this morning. I got my thoughts down for the, I'll just get comfy, Fulham game. And I can't remember what other videos I did, actually. It's just trying to remember it all, to be fair. So I got them out the way. The live stream went completely pear-shaped, but not for anything I could have done. What did I do? I got home, had something to eat, had to go back out. Got back. I had to pop out briefly this evening. I got back. I watched the Newcastle game, Leicester. God, Leicester are bad. They are in a bad way. I mean, it finished, I think, 3-0. The second goal I think you really need to see the second goal. It was insane, the effort from Fabian Schär. The third goal goes in and that's it, the crowd are off. We've just seen we also saw that game, the Premier League's youngest player come on. It was bizarre because I hadn't seen the sub come on, and I saw a player on the pitch and he's got no sponsor on, and the other players have got a sponsor. I'm like, what's going on? And I found out he's like 15. So he can't have like betting stuff on his kit. I did some videos. I've relaxed a bit. Tomorrow I'm just going to play by ear, I think. I'm not too sure how tomorrow's going to pan out yet. Also depends on the news as well. A lot of that helps. Because if there's not much news, it's really hard to get videos out. As for the rest of the week, the men's team have got West Ham, and women's team have got Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. I've just done a WSL update, and even there's not much on. Update on the player's injury and a contract extension, but it doesn't say anywhere what the contract is. It just says undisclosed, if anything. So yeah, a fairly quiet day. Is there somebody following me on Instagram? Followed by other Liverpool channels so they can be followed back. Just turn my phone volume down a minute. Right. Find my screenshots, 2 seconds. Where is it? I need to keep that screenshot because I need to look at that one. Right, I need to delete that one. I don't need it twice. That can be deleted. I really need to delete old screenshots, really. Somebody's mentioned a player name that I'd love us to sign such and such player. I may have a look at them and schedule a video at some point. But this is on the why Isak is not ready to leave Tyneside video. And I'm not sure the person's name. I've just got the @ which is the ID, Twitter, YouTube ID. It says Bazooka183. It says, I'm an author for the online fanzine and forum The Mag. Now I've heard of The Mag, obviously from living in the northeast, so I'm very much aware of it. I've not really read it as such because not being a Newcastle fan I wouldn't go out and get it. but I know of it. And he said, I appreciate you that you're being interactive, because this was on. Oh, I'm gonna have to find the comment actually, the full comment thread. Where is it? My videos. Might be easy just to go to YouTube Studio and go to the comments. Community. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. No, because they said, unlike some other YouTubers, you do seem to respond a bit to quite normal banter. I try to respond to everybody, to be fair. If I see your comment, unless it's abusive, I will respond to you. If you're abusive, I'm not really going to give you the time of day. So what I'd said, I try to respond to all comments and I don't mind friendly banter. And he said, I appreciate you being interactive. And they also said, I happen to think that Newcastle will thrive with the new Champions League format next season. I can't. You can tell when I've typed it on my phone. Because there's typos. As in, if Newcastle get there into the Champions League, I think they will. I'd be surprised if they don't. I think they've got more about them than Chelsea have. I think they've got more about them than Villa have. And with the 5 places going, I can see it being us, Arsenal, Forest, City and Newcastle, I think, getting the Champions League spots. And Newcastle will probably thrive, yes, because there's more games and you're competing against everybody, not just 3 teams, home and away. I think it is, what was it? It's a different league setup. I'm not sure if I like the format yet. I still don't. But it's a lot easier, I think, to qualify and get games. And if you want players to get experience of European football, it's going to be much easier because obviously you've got the more league games. So you could be, before you get to the quarterfinals, having to play 10 games. The downside of that is if you don't have a strong squad and the league. And I think there's a few teams have struggled with the European competitions this season and the demands as put on players. So we'll have to see whether. But the positive thing of the Champions League format as it is, if it keeps this European Super League away that every fan literally did not want a few years ago, if you're of a certain age, you won't forget that. We were literally going to lose. I think we were going to be involved with it. Was it Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, Barcelona, Real Madrid? I think it was Juventus. I can't remember who else. But there was a series of teams that were going to pull out of their domestic leagues and form this European Super League. And there was a massive outcry from the fans. Nobody was for it at all, and clubs sort of pulled out slowly. And if this new format of the Champions League stops that ever happening again, then I'm all for it, because I don't think that Super League is good for the sport. It was basically you guaranteed money, more money, but I don't think it was really competitive, because it was literally you'd be playing each the same teams every year. If I remember rightly, I don't think there was a promotion or a relegation or anything. And for me, that would get stale quite quickly. And if you're down the bottom and you know you can't win the league, there's no one. If you know you're likely to finish down the bottom, what incentive is there to try and fight? Because you know you're not going to be relegated, at least. Like in the Premier League, there was incentive to fight, because you knew you could go down. One team already has that, Southampton. They've also sacked or got rid of the manager, Juric. And he came in. When did he come in, actually? It's just crazy they get rid of the manager they brought in. Yeah, he left. He signed on the 23rd of December, left the 7th of April, so he's been there. He's played 16 games in the league. I think 16 games, won 2, lost 1. Oh, sorry, won 2, drawn. 13 games, won 2, drawn 1, lost 13. 4, 15, 38. Well, that's the thing. They would have had an incentive to try and stay in the league. This European Super League, you wouldn't. And that's why the Champions League format was the way it is. And I think with the extra games and the extra revenue, if you're in it, it's a good thing. And I think that's why Newcastle will thrive, because of the ownership that they have. They'll do well in it, but whether they'll win it, I don't know. It might take them several years to win it. It might take them several years to get to the semi-finals. But they've got the groundwork and the infrastructure there to do it, and I hope they do kick on after the Carabao Cup. It's a fitting club to kick on and win things. It's a lovely place. I've got all the time in the world for the city and the people. So we've done the day before. We've done. What should we've done today? We've done shout outs. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. There's not much going on. I'll be curious to see what comes of this contract talks that's announced tonight. That's a case of it's when, not if. I just hope in the summer, if Mo does stay, that we'll bring in players that can complement him and support him and not rely on him. Because if we were going to rely on him, part of me would think, would it not be wise just to let him move on? Because we're going to have to learn how to not to rely on him eventually, and it's the sooner rather than later. I would have thought would have been a better scenario. But if he stays and he's supported, then I'd love him to stay. I just don't think it's fair on the club and him just to rely on him. It doesn't do the club any good long term, because if he, say, falls out of form or has an injury, we're up the creek. Whereas if the goals and assists are spread out, then that drop off is less severe. Alright guys, thank you very much, and I shall speak to you very soon, alright?